Welcome, everybody, to my podcast, Renew Motherhood, and a new episode. And this episode is how to rebuild yourself as a mom. And it's so crucial for all the mothers in the world. I'm so grateful that I have a wonderful guest here. She has overcome so many challenges, and I'm happy to have you here. Please briefly introduce yourself, Carla.
Hello, thank you for having me. I am Carla. I was originally from Lancashire in England, and now I think I'm in my 17th year in Australia on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland here. So I'm loving life on the other side of the world in the future. I'm a wife and I'm a mom to 5-year-old twins, and I'm also a functional diagnostic nutritionist and life coach, and I specialize in essentially helping moms to restore their energy at the cellular level, but also overcome and heal health struggles that they're dealing with, and really so that they can show up as their best selves, not their stressed selves, and live that life that they envisioned motherhood would bring and be, and not feel overwhelmed with all of the challenges and often things that weigh them down when we do become moms and we're trying to be and do all of the things. So that's a
Yes,
little bit
that's
about me.
I love this. So there are people who have studied a lot of things and who are so advanced in the fields that they have studied, but you have told me that you had also overcome so many things. And this is, I think, more important because you can give experiences for others. Do you like to share a bit of this?
Yeah, I think our stories, lots of functional health practitioners have come to this through their own struggles and not getting answers through conventional means. And so we've had to go on little research journeys of our own and then understand, health is such a unique journey and our bodies are also unique, our lifestyles are also unique, that it's, we do have commonalities, but it can be, what's showing for one thing for one person can be very different for somebody else. So for me, my struggles really came, I think, around adolescence. I was suffering with anorexia, really bad self-esteem issues, self-confidence, just not feeling like I fit in, depression, anxiety, and things that came through. And interestingly enough, I've had gut parasites, I've had scoliosis, panic attacks, and all of these kinds of things all relate to that self-esteem and feeling like a victim to your life, basically, other people's energies. Yeah, lots of just questioning why. And for me, there was no obvious trauma that I'd kind of had to deal with. I had loving parents, so life in general looked good on paper, but I still sort of suffered in these ways, and that just made me think that I was just a bit messed up, basically, and didn't understand myself. So when I found functional diagnostic nutrition and actually started to do tests on myself, and particularly when I found mineral testing and learned particularly about copper in my case, that was very much sort of ticked the boxes throughout like my whole life, since my teens of struggling with all of those kinds of things, which again then when I was pregnant and had my twins and had the miscarriages before, struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety and just big breakdowns and things in that time, which again should be great because everything's great on paper, but just really not understanding myself, but knowing with these minerals that that was a lot to do with the process, but also a lot of how I was thinking about the world and all my belief processes, and things were really driving a lot of it, essentially. Things that you blame yourself for, but aren't really aware of why, and you don't kind of know any other answers. Yeah.
So would you say that it connects to each other, how you think and what your body has got on lack of minerals? And would you say this belongs together somehow?
It massive, like we are very complex beings as humans, and I've definitely learned that kind of the long way, I guess, in always looking externally, looking for answers externally to myself, looking to nutrition, looking to supplements, which of course are a massive integral part, but they're only part of the story. And in our mineral profiles, we can actually see certain personality traits of that type A personality or the apathetic or highly stressed, all of the things, we can actually see that through the minerals. It sort of plays out there.
I was also thinking about anorexia and how does a mother feel if her daughter has anorexia? Because I think this is such a common situation nowadays. I don't know if it was in the past really, but I can see in the ages of my children, the friends are this society in this field is just, they have got problems. Do you have an advice for mothers how to deal with this, how they can catch their children? Because no mother wants to have a child, a daughter who suffers this way.
No, absolutely. And it's so hard because it's all so personal. It's all so integral to the person. It's not the same for everybody. I mean, we could always blame societal, the models and what is deemed beautiful and all those kinds of things. And I think that is certainly part of it, what we think. But I think we could quite easily distract ourselves with that. And really, it's like, it's on a life level, what's happening there. And for me, it goes back other generations as well, like there's so many different things in life that can come forward. And I think with anorexia itself, it's like a rejection of yourself, and you're depriving yourself of things, like because you don't think you're worthy, or you're not kind of deserving of those things, or you're also maybe feeling so out of control in your life in general with things that are going on, or you're not able to sort of lead your own life, that this is the only thing you can control, and so you focus and fixate on that. And yeah, it's like a big feeling of not belonging, and not feeling like you fit in, feeling just very different, which I can certainly relate to. For me, it was very much, well, it's found that high copper serum is very much related to eating disorders, which again is related to the postpartum depression and anxiety that comes through. Copper is an integral mineral for moods, but for our energy, for our iron metabolism, all of the things. It's massively important. But when we get an imbalance of it, it can really show up as these mood disorders, essentially. And there's even been people on, like in prisons, that have done really violent crimes that they've been found to have really high copper levels. It sort of really changes the mindset. So knowing that for me was an issue. Like my mother had IUD, a coil, throughout my whole gestational period. So I was like, my whole life was just next to copper. And whilst obviously don't blame my mom, like she didn't know any different and what have you, but it's just something that's part of my life. And this understanding around copper has been a big part of that. And I found out about it, unfortunately, after I had my twins. And so I've given that to them now, and then that's showing up in different immune system things for them. So yeah, everything's linked. It's all like psychological stuff, but mineral levels through nutrition. I mean, I was a vegan diet as well, which is very high copper and low zinc. And when they get imbalanced, that can cause things. So there's so many different avenues that it can come about, but often lots of little sort of commonalities along the line. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Oh wow, that's wonderful. I haven't heard about copper. I've heard about all the other minerals, but copper is not so familiar. Well, it is, but not in the focus, I think. So
No.
people are talking
Yeah.
about other minerals, but not so much about copper.
No. And it's kind of big because, like, with immune systems and zinc being so huge, everyone's been high dosing zinc, but that really throws copper out. And some people can take zinc and they'll get anxiety. Just, they think I'm doing this because it's healthy, it's supposed to happen. Yeah, the same things. And then iron as well, as massive, like having anemia, and people thinking they need more iron, but it's not. It's that they need the liver health, they need probably retinol A, and they need copper to be bioavailable to be able to use that iron. So yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's great. It's how everything connected, and it's an art almost to balance everything out. And if we then say, okay, we are individuals, maybe what works more for the one person doesn't work so much for everyone. Would you say this? So it's every time you have got a person in front of you, it's new. And to find out the balancing part for this individual, actually, I think this is wonderful.
Yeah, it's like we call ourselves health detectives. It's like finding those hidden stressors. So it can be through testing and looking at the different biochemistry and what's going on there. For me, I start that with HTMA, with hair tissue mineral analysis, and looking, because the minerals are so integral. But yeah, obviously lifestyle, how you're living your life, the nutrition that you're having, your mindset, where your brain is going all the time, what thoughts you're telling yourself, what words you're constantly hearing, the support that you've got, your lifestyle, your relationships.
Yeah,
It's all,
it's
yeah.
all, yes. Now, you are a mother of twins, and I think this is so admirable because having two babies at the same time, maybe both crying, and I can just relate. If one is crying, you have to do a lot, but if two of them, so
Mhm.
yes, you have got two arms, but
Yeah, the bounce.
where do you put your
Yeah.
hand first?
Yeah, no.
It's a challenge. And during pregnancy, what is important for mothers? Well, mothers in general, not only for twin mothers, but in general, what have you found out during your pregnancy that could help mothers? Is there anything that they should keep an eye on if they are pregnant?
As in, so I've got lots of different opinions of like lifestyle and expectations of yourself. I think that's probably very integral. As a health aspect, of course, like making sure you're having enough calories, between 2,600 and 3,000 is general kind of role there. Enough protein is really important, anywhere from sort of 90 to 140 grams of protein. And making sure you're having really nutrient dense foods and good heme iron, like animal proteins, massively important for your blood volume levels. Your blood volume will go up anywhere from like 60%, I think 40 to 60%. In that second trimester, and that can look like a drop in iron, and so they'll try and push you with loads of iron, but that's a normal thing. We want that to happen. It's just the blood volume expanding, and just supporting yourself through the nutritional aspects, because it's a very expensive energy expenditure is making a baby, and growing all of the extra bits, as well as your body still doing all of its own things to keep you alive. So nutrition is huge, and I love the mineral aspect because it's all nutritional based. To know exactly what your body needs and really focusing there and giving your baby the best chance, really, of you being well there. And then I think the mindset kind of piece, it's like knowing that it's a very personal experiences. There's going to be lots of different opinions coming at you from all different avenues, internet, people around you, all of the things. And you'll probably likely also change your own opinions from what you thought you would be, and then who you become. That's all. Yeah, it's all okay. It's all normal. And just checking in with yourself, I think. But I think if I had another baby, if I was pregnant again, I wouldn't focus so much. I think there's so much focus around the actual birth itself, and what's going to happen there, and absolutely research yourself, understand that yourself, because the medical can be wanting to interact there. So you want to know your rights and what you want to do, to really trust your own decisions there. But I feel like if you can plan and start to just start to be aware that your life is never going to be the same. And that is a beautiful thing. But until you go through it, you can't really comprehend the scale of that impact. And just having some compassion for yourself, that if you're feeling like it's hard and you want to run away, that's perfectly fine. Seek support. You're not expected to do it all yourself. Like for me, I wanted to do it all myself. I wanted to do that. And it's not sustainable. We have this perfect mother myth that's out there that society and culture has really enforced, and how quickly we can get back to who we were after we've had our children, not who we're going to become now we've got our children. It's like how unchanged is our life. Oh yeah, we're still doing everything that we used to be doing. No, that's not a good thing. You've got a whole new being that's very important to you. And it's going to change. And I think just acknowledging those kinds of things, getting really clear on your values, just keep checking in with yourself. I would also really try and build your own self-trust, asking yourself, why are you making these choices? Are you happy with those choices? Are they definitely your choices, not choices that you think you should be doing?
Not coming from the outside, expectations from the outside.
From all sides, from all sides. Because you might get the perfect child, whatever that is, that's for you, and everything goes smoothly, brilliant. But I'm pretty sure that something's probably not going to, something's going to be a challenge at some point, and you're going to question yourself, you're going to doubt everything, and that's fine. Like, that's normal. You would be strange if you didn't do that. But we can start to really, I think moms blame themselves, feel guilty a lot about certain things, that we feel like, because it is really that the pressure's all on us, but the decision really ends with us. We're the integral provider and carer for our children. And so that decision does lie with us, which is a huge pressure. But making sure that you're seeking the support that aligns with you, and just checking that you're aligned with the decisions that you're making and understanding why you're making them. And again, that's fine to change as well, as you learn more and grow yourself. yeah, just a bit more grace for yourself, I think.
Yes.
And having that awareness in pregnancy and knowing that, to expect that and give yourself grace is a start. It's
Yes.
an evolving journey when you're there, but yeah.
Yes, I think that's a good point to see, okay, if you have got your children, your life has changed. And so don't seek to get back to your old life because it doesn't work anymore. You have got now your baby and it's not the same life anymore. So be aware of the change and not to look back with sadness, but instead embrace your motherhood and embrace what you have got now and to go forward with everything and to be, yes, somehow to be open to new situations, to new growth, to new happiness, I think, because getting into a family or being a family and creating a lifestyle with a family is something completely different than you had done before. And if you haven't done it, how should you know what to do?
Yeah,
So you have to
yeah,
get one step after another. Sometimes this
yeah.
is fighting. Sometimes this is
Yes, yeah, yeah. And I think even, as you say that, yes, look forward, but also that maiden self, some of her might want to come forward into the mother self as well, and maybe you grieve parts of her that you can't bring forward, but also check in, how could I change it slightly so that I can bring parts of her forward and still be those bits of yourself, and also realizing that it might not just be in this season that initially that baby year, the first year, they're only a baby for a year, like that's a very small amount of time. And it's, as hard as it will get better, it will pass. And just having that grace. And then, in time, you can start to bring parts of your maiden self back. Don't forget her, because there'll be a time when you want to bring that back. And people can lose themselves in motherhood and lose that identity. Like that can be a really big thing as well. So acknowledging those bits that you really value and want to bring forward. You may just have that sort of person, that version of you obscured a little bit right now as this motherhood is stepping forward, but it's always there in the background. You're still you. And yeah, I think that's a nice thing to acknowledge as well, that it's not just gone forever.
Yes,
Just
that's
changed
right.
slightly,
Always be
evolving.
aware there are just parts of time after another. So a part of time when the baby is not moving, then the baby is moving, the baby is
Yeah,
crawling, the baby stands up and starts going. And these are all steps and wonderful steps. But just be aware it's just a part of time. And then everything is changing again. And it's a wonderful life journey.
yeah.
Sometimes you think, oh my goodness, when will this end?
Absolutely. And you want to run away, literally want to run out that door. And sometimes you do.
Absolutely. So there is not only the nutritional side that you should be considered, but also mental health. We have
Mm.
covered this a little, so you have mentioned it. What is your number one advice regarding the mental health side that young mothers could take from you?
From my journey, that it can be exacerbated by mineral imbalances. It could be a copper imbalance, and that can certainly, when you start to balance those, it's like I felt like something literally inside me was off. It was like I wasn't consciously aware of why I was doing what I was doing, kind of thing. So that was an integral part of my own healing. But as hard as it's easy to say support, and you don't even know if you want it or if you need it. You talk yourself out of it a lot. Oh, it's not that bad, and going through, but really understanding your needs are vitally important. You are important. You matter. You're integral for not only your child's health, but your family's dynamics. Like your health really matters, and that can be a huge pressure. And acknowledge that that's a pressure, but you're not expected to do things alone. And if you don't have the support within your family network, then seek it outside, seek that external. There is pandas.org.au, which has lots of free resources and things for you to get support there with mental health, and communicating as much as you can, even if you don't fully think you make sense and you can't formulate what's really going wrong because nothing makes sense to you, but just, yeah, asking for help, knowing that you're not any less because you ask for help. Like this modern motherhood is not conducive to how we're supposed to raise children. We're supposed to raise children in tribes with support networks, or with other support, elders that have been through this before, with that space for ourselves, which we don't get as modern moms. We're often we don't even have our own moms with us, a lot of the time. And of
Sometimes
course,
good, sometimes bad, but
yeah, sometimes yeah. But it's trying to do everything on your own. It's hard, especially on lack of sleep. Like lack of sleep, your brain is not functioning the same. Your resilience, your stress tolerance is so much lower. You're almost setting yourself up for failure if you're not going to accept some support, or at least seek it somehow. It might just be meals on wheels, just that bit of grace, not mopping the floors, not worrying about the mess, the laundry that's there. Like, again, it's only a season, it's only this short time, it will pass, it's not going to be there forever. And when people come round, no, you can't hold the baby, go do the work. I'm going to go rest. I think if we could talk about that more in our circles, and that pre-birth, of that, how you can be a support for new moms. Like, yeah, go see the baby, that's great, but take round meals, do the laundry, do the cleaning for the mom, let her go and have a shower, for goodness sake, on her own, and you care and do whatever you can around the house, or take baby for a little bit if she doesn't want the baby to leave, that's fine. But there's so much that you can do to support moms. And yeah, I think that awareness, that I certainly wasn't aware of that 5 years ago. You're just like, oh yeah, I want to see the baby. But when you become a mom, you realize there's so much to do that you don't even think about. And if you can have that support network, as little or as much as it can be, grab it. It's
absolutely.
not that you're doing anything less.
Yes, I can totally confirm this. So this is such a huge, huge, wonderful thing to be supported as a mother, to really have someone on your side who cares. Yes, I had my husband who was saying, okay, what do you want to eat? And this is just beautiful. So I didn't have to care about this. Okay, where can I buy my food? What do I prepare for meal? And what do I have to do now? And still all with the baby and all the emotions with the baby. And you have to handle those emotions too. And no one is talking about these things.
Well, yeah, your hormones drop to postmenopausal levels. So I'm going through perimenopause right now, so I'm getting like the whole thing, and still got young kids, so that's a whole great ball game. But yeah, you don't have that resilience. Like, those hormones really, you've got other ones that come in hopefully and help sort of buffer, but they drop so drastically that it's inevitable that you're gonna feel a little bit down, and that after baby, and just having that grace with yourself that
Well, what helped me was actually to be with my baby and to feel, touch, smell it, because this soft skin is so beautiful. And actually the smell, I was just in love with the smell of my baby. Everything is going up, or you can raise your energy just by holding your baby. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's hard when you've got postpartum depression, because you don't feel those urges, and that in itself is like, what's wrong with me? I definitely had those kinds of feelings. Like, I want to care for them. I want them to be cared for. I don't want to hurt them, but it's like, I just want space. I don't want to be around them right now. And especially if they can't be settled and crying, and it's just like, and you've not slept, and the frustration, it's hard, and you're not doing anything wrong. Like, you just need some support and some space and some sleep, generally. Nutrition, some good, warm, nourishing meals, and some space.
So you can come from another side, and to set you up from this nutritional side again, so your energy will get up. And if you got a better place, you can start again with everything. On a neutral place and everything is okay. So, but never feel guilty about these things. Just reject the guilt from yourself.
Just self-compassion is a big one. Self-compassion, for sure.
Yeah, self-compassion, right. Yeah. What has been your biggest mistake in your life's journey, where people can learn from?
I think for me, the biggest, I don't like to say mistakes, because I feel like failures are always the learning
Yeah.
They're no learning places.
Yeah.
So kind of what makes you value or realize things more. But I think for me, it's like my life story, my life lessons, which is interesting with menopause, with birth, with adolescence. The same kind of things kind of come forward for us females, the same life struggles. And for me, it's been really that questioning myself, and not trusting myself. Like I mentioned before, like there's so many differing opinions, and there's going to be different answers depending on you. Like it's not what's like I said, not what's right for one person is not necessarily right for everybody. So you're the only person that knows you. You're the only person that knows your babies. And really, the mother's intuition is a thing, like our brain rewires differently and connects to these, it picks up on these different cues for reasons. Like it's a biological thing. It happens, and it's a real thing. So trust yourself if you're really feeling like things are off. So there's lots of like various things that happened in my journey where I gave in, and because I did question myself, and other things unfolded that I maybe wouldn't have. Like it's happened now. There's no regrets or what have you. But if I'd have trusted myself more, I mean, this, like I said, it comes up in lots of aspects of my life. And I think probably a key part of that is slowing down enough to listen and hear yourself. Because type A personality, doing, and moving on to all the next things, and you're not slowing down enough to, is this actually what I want? Is this the life that I want for myself? Is this unfolding as I want?
Yes.
Or am I striving for these things and putting all this pressure on myself for something that I don't actually want anymore? So yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
I think as well, just another one that's come up is like, I always, with being in health, like that medical field is drugs, supplements that to take away symptoms and things. And so with nutrition and things, we can often just think, oh, it's supplements, nutritional support, and that's the answers, without thinking we need to change our life or look at our beliefs and mindset piece. And I think that's where you'll get results initially, but it kind of often flips back, and you start to suffer with the same things again, and you feel like you've healed, but you suffer again. And it's because you're not dealing with these under like the real core things with that mindset piece and those beliefs and how you're living your life essentially. So that's another integral thing.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Coming back, I don't like to use the word mistake again because it's not a mistake. And we are so taught to not do mistakes from school. And if someone is doing something wrong, the red pen just immediately goes on the paper. And so like a punishment, or what have I done wrong? But it's not actually, yes, it's a learning lesson. Still, mothers sometimes, yes, think that they do mistakes when they raise their children. They are afraid of doing something wrong. And do you have an advice for them?
You will do something wrong. You're definitely going to do stuff wrong. You're definitely going to traumatize your children at some point. You're going to do stuff. It's going to happen. But I think for us as a generation, there's so much more awareness around that we can catch ourselves, we can apologize, we can explain ourselves maybe a little bit more. And as we said, in the mistakes and in those failures is the learning. And if we can teach that to our children very young, that like even I, as an adult, haven't got it all sorted, and make mistakes, and I did wrong there, I think that's a key thing. And again, like doing too much for them, don't do too much for them. I can often find myself, I need to go out, I need to get out of the house, this time pressures that we have to do things. And it's like, just let them struggle, let them try, if you can, as much as you can, give them space to develop and learn themselves, and know that they can do it themselves. Don't jump in too quickly. That's something that still making mistakes at and learning and growing with. Yeah, I think that's good.
That's a wonderful answer to say, okay, just become conscious about you will do mistakes, you will do something wrong.
Make mistakes. And then again, I guess it's like not having a closed mindset. So wherever you can, have an open mindset. So you might believe certain things, but just always question what you think and why you think it, just to make sure that you're still on the right, you're still believing and thinking that, because I think having that open mindset and just considering other things as well is a valuable life lesson. And if you can teach that to your kids as well, it's something to benefit them.
Yes. And Actually, it comes down to be authentic. Would you agree?
To what, sorry? Be
To be
authentic. Yes,
authentic
yes,
to yourself.
absolutely.
Be
Yeah,
yourself. And we are all human beings. We are not perfect. So we have to, we can only
mm,
be who we are.
yeah,
We should not take only masks on because our children won't follow us if we have put on a
mm,
mask. Um,
yeah,
they can look through. They're
absolutely.
looking to
Yeah.
your heart, not what you share, and they're thinking, "Hey, what's she doing?" That's funny.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's not what you say, it's what you do. Definitely, that's what they see. And yeah, just living with integrity of like what you're, who you want to be.
Mhm.
For sure.
What do you consider as the parts that should be put together so that a mother can thrive on her way as a mother? You mentioned the nutritional part, you mentioned the mental health part. So is there anything else that should be added to
I
become
think to thrive, it's really about the awareness of yourself. So that can start through what I kind of teach with my clients is understanding your body, understanding why you're doing things that you are, or understanding why you're struggling with the things that you are. So really understanding the workings of your body. And like I've alluded to before, is like that how your lifestyle is really impacting that biochemistry, the minerals, the hormones, all of those kinds of things. And I think as females as well, so many of us don't even understand our cycle and that we're not supposed to be the same all month. Like we are going to feel better at certain parts. We're going to need the rest more at other parts. And just having that understanding of yourself as well. And through in postpartum, if you're not cycling, that can lend to the moon. We're very much lunar kind of beings as a female. So working with the moon cycles, and you can find all that kind of information out on Google if that's something that they're interested in. But just seeing those parts, I guess, understanding your own self, because even we don't always go to that same cycle of everybody else because we're all disjointed and isolated from each other now. So we're not on the kind of same wavelengths, or we're in different roles where we might flip our cycle. So just understanding what's normal for you, understanding your feelings, what's different for you, what comes up, and just listening to your symptoms rather than dismissing them, listening to your thoughts rather than dismissing them. They're messages, everything's messages. And it might just be a quick check-in to, are you on the right path? Are you okay? Are you quite sure? Just, yep, that's okay. I'm not living that anymore. This is where I want to go. Just that checking in with yourself. So really understanding yourself is key. And I think as much as I've resisted journaling, just essentially what am I thinking, and that awareness of my thoughts, what am I spending my energy on thinking each day, like where is my head going, is a big piece. And just being aware about that, because that is huge. What's the voice telling you the majority of the time is going to be very much outplayed in your health, but also in your happiness and your joy and how you're experiencing life. So that journaling, that aspect, that checking in with yourself, noticing what triggers you, questioning things, all of that kind of thing. And like I said, I think previous as well, it's like for me, it's getting really clear on who I want to be. It's not that I used to think that I didn't like aspects of myself and I had no choice as to who I was and how I reacted to things. It's just what I was, it's just who I was. And that's BS. It's not, you can change. You're not your thoughts. You
Mhm.
can observe your thoughts. You can choose which ones you want to nurture, which ones you want to follow. And yes,
It's
it's a
huge.
practice. It's something you've got to work. But that's, yeah, a big thing for me. And as mothers, you will always have that guilt, that shame, and just be like, hold on, and that's normal, but don't go there. Don't stay there. Don't nurture those thoughts.
Stop
What's actually true? Yeah,
to your
what's
thoughts.
true, and come back there. Yeah, yeah, and that's like, although the mother shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Like there are no shoulds. It's just what is. It's just what is, and staying there. So yeah, little things like that. You're only in control of yourself. You can't control anything else. It's only your own thoughts, your own, what you say, you do, you think. You can't control anybody else's things. So don't stay out of everybody else's business. All
You
you can do
can't
is
change
yourself.
them.
Yeah. And if you can do all of those things and understand your life will be quite chaotic, and that's fine. But how do you want to show up in that chaos? Like, don't expect it not to be chaotic and fight it. It is. So what are you going to do about it? How you want to be? How do you want to be in that? And that's how you'll thrive in motherhood.
Wonderful. I love this. So that's so awesome. Thank you very much. What do you offer to people? What's specific? What can they get from you?
So I offer standalone HTMAs if people just want to sort of check in with their health, the hair tissue mineral analysis, because that's kind of a big integral piece, but it's just that supplement piece. It's just that little window, what's going on with your health, some key pointers around lifestyle, but it can be a really nice starting point for people to just check in where I am and where you're at. And then I have like a do it for yourself or a done for you essentially program, self-paced online program called Radiant Mama, where it got lots of different worksheets to go through as your journey through motherhood, but also all of the nutritional aspects to look for, how to nourish your body, mindset pieces, all that kind of thing. Then the jewel, in my opinion, is my 6-month program, Radiate from Within, where I work one-on-one. So this is done with you. You get Radiant Mama as well. So we've got that backup of all the information, but it's really about that coaching piece, that lifestyle piece. We do the mineral testing. I'm taking you through everything. I'm helping you implement the protocols because we can all know what we should be doing, and then we just don't manage to do it still. And it's understanding why we're not doing it, getting to the bottom of all those kinds of things, and supporting people through that journey. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
This is so huge. And I think this can help so many mothers, so many women, so many people. So it's so great that you can offer these things and that people can reach out to you. Where? Where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, but my website is drcarlaatkinson.com, and I've got all my handles off there, but it's just generally Instagram is drcarlaatkinson.com. LinkedIn is the same, like everything's just, yeah, drcarlaatkinson.com.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. It was so much value inside here. You shared so many great lessons and so many, yes, I think people can take it and think about it, start thinking, and then go reach out to Dr. Carla Atkinson.
Yeah.
So
Let me help you.
I love this. Thank you so much for being my guest here.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you. And for all the listeners, stay tuned for the next episodes. Thank you.